look at Monserrate Shirley and I see a wasted life. I look at a neighbor that I would have been more than happy to help if she'd have just come across the street and said, man, I got a problem. Will you give me a hand?
Breaking news tonight, an emotional day for survivors and family members of the deadly Richmond Hill explosion. The homeowner, Monserrate Shirley, now sentenced to the maximum 50 years in prison for her role in the plot.
We have live coverage tonight from our team of reporters who have covered this story for years. We are going to start with Rafael Sanchez. He was there on day one, the night of that explosion.
It's been a long 4 years, and of course, justice today for the families of Dion and Jennifer Longworth. They were hoping for this ruling from the judge today, but of course, they remain heartbroken because nothing brings back their children. Let me show you the video as Monserrate Shirley was heading back to the Marion County Jail. On one side of the screen, you can see that she was going back to the jail as she was crying. On the other side of the screen, you can see a tearful moment for the families of the victims as well as the people of Richmond Hill. Many were here today. More than 36 were packed the courtroom. 51-year-old Monserrate Shirley has been in custody since 2012. That blast that killed Dion and Jennifer Longworth. There were no winners today. Shirley going to jail, her family devastated, just as devastated many of the families in Richmond Hill on the south side of Indianapolis who are still coping with the aftermath of the horrific event. Here's what survivor Glenn Olvey had to say moments after hearing that Monserrate Shirley will spend 50 years in prison.
There's no joy in what's happened today. But there is relief that this is finally over, and it's finally done, except for the one small trial.
Glenn lived right next door to Monserrate Shirley, and his family was trapped when that explosion occurred. Among the youngest survivors of the blast is Catherine Olvey. At RTV6, we have never spoken to any of the children who survived the Southside explosion, but today Catherine approached us and said that she wanted to speak, and only after getting permission from her mother and father, this is what she's been waiting to say for the past 4 years. Here's Catherine Olvey.
It's probably been the longest 4 years of my life. And I'm just really glad that it's over. And I hope I can say all I want, that I hope that nothing like this ever happens again, but it's inevitable. But at least this time I know that the people who are behind it are put away and gone for good.
Catherine is an amazing young woman, an amazing musician who plays the bass drum for her marching band. She has an older sister who has yet to want to speak about what happened 4 years ago. This has impacted so many different people on the south side and throughout central Indiana. Joining me now live is digital correspondent Jordan Fisher. We were somewhat surprised that Monserrate Shirley actually decided to speak to the judge today. She did so for 9 minutes. What did she say?
Well, what we heard from Monserrate, first off, was an expression of remorse, of sorrow, and one of the first things she addressed was the big question, which is why didn't she do anything? And I'll just read from my notes. She said, "I'm so sorry for keeping silent after this tragedy." And then she went on to say that she was scared for her life and for her daughter. She also addressed the families of Dion and Jennifer Longworth, said that she had read a book which has been compiled about their lives. And she said directly to their parents that this is a pain I wish I could take from your heart.
And that statement went on. Jordan Fisher, thank you so much. You can read more of the story that he's working on theindychannel.com. That statement went on for about 9 minutes. The judge also expressed sorrow, Erica, to the family. That brought them comfort to hear that the judge also cared about them, their families, and all the people affected 4 years ago. Live downtown, Rafael Sanchez, now back to you.
An emotional day all the way around. Thank you, Rafael.